How's it going, everyone? We have some incredibly exciting Stellar Blade news pertaining to the PC release of this game, which I think is going to be so important for the overall popularity of Stellar Blade for a wide variety of reasons. I talked about this quite a lot. However, one of the pushback elements that a lot of people had is like, yeah, this game will do pretty well on PC. Unfortunately, there are so many regions where PC players can't play this game at because PlayStation was region locking a lot of their games in various regions for whatever reason. I guess regions that didn't have PlayStation Network account linking available, or PlayStation Network in general available, even though PSN account linking has been removed from mandatory requirement from these PlayStation PC games. That has changed. Stellar Blade will now be available in every region. 250 regions can already play the demo, and the region locking for Stellar Blade has been pulled. This is so important for the release of this game, and this is going to be a monster PC release relative to other PlayStation PC releases. It could even be the biggest single-player PlayStation PC release of all time. It literally could be that big. I believe it's going to thrash Last of Us Part 2, it's going to thrash Spider-Man 2, it's going to thrash God of War Ragnarok, and think about those IPs I just mentioned. Spider-Man, Last of Us, God of War. That's like the holy trinity of PlayStation IPs. Put your money on it. Stellar Blade from a Steam concurrent player count number will thrash all three of those games. Will it beat the record that Ghost of Tsushima set? That's the number it is trying to reach. We'll talk all about that. By the way, there's a free demo available right now, and we're not just going to talk Stellar Blade. We've got some other news to talk about. Ys and Trails. Big time to be a fan of Falcom, and Ys vs. Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga will be dropping this summer. That's a crossover fighting game. And we've got an update on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, a free update on that, and that's going to be a big one. We're on that at the end of this video. But man, this is huge for Stellar Blade and its popularity. Region locking has been pulled from the Steam release of this game and the Epic Games Store release for the 3 people that are going to buy it on the Epic Games Store. But this will be available in every region, or a lot more regions than it initially was. Now, region locking, it certainly does affect sales. Ultimately, could the game have still been successful? Yeah, it definitely could have been successful. However, now you're talking about all of these people, extra people being able to play the game. And whenever I talked about Stellar Blade on PC, saw a lot of people come out in the comment section and be like, bro, I can't even buy this game. It does have de novo anti-piracy DRM. The fact that it has de novo and you are still doing region locking is crazy as well. Like, those people in those other regions didn't even have the option to pirate the game. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just going to be available for everyone, and this is going to be a gigantic PC release. Let me explain to you guys something. First of all, there is a free demo available on Steam, and that is available for everyone to download, and the system requirements for these games are incredibly tame. So you're not talking about a Doom the Dark Ages situation where a lot of people were locked out of playing that game just based on the system requirements. I think there were a lot of other reasons that were factors into that game not doing that well, but in the case of Stellar Blade, you're looking at very old hardware being able to play this game. A GTX 1060, you guys, that GPU is like damn near a decade old, or it might be a decade old at this point, still being able to run this game. RX 580 being able to run this game. 1080p low setting, 60 FPS though. That means this game's gonna run on the Steam Deck fairly well as well, and all of the other PC portable platforms. Recommended is an RTX 2060 or an RX 5700 XE. That's not even that high end. That's for 1440p at medium preset, but now you can already gauge how your PC is going to be running the game with the demo available. And if that's not enough, you're also looking at the early stats of this game. SteamDB has a followers count available on their database, and we can compare it to some of the other releases. Now, Stellar Blade is still a week and change out from release, really closer to 2 weeks out from release, but let's say a little over a week, and it already has 86,000 followers. If you want to compare it to some other games, let us pull up a Last of Us Part 2. Where was Last of Us Part 2 when that came out? Okay, let's pull it up. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Charts on release day. So, Stellar Blade still has a ways to go before release day, but on release day, Last of Us Part 2 was at 45,000. Stellar Blade over a week out from its release is already damn near double that amount. Let's pull up something else. An Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's a big game. That's not a delayed release even. Let's pull up Assassin's Creed Shadows, see where that it was at. Assassin's Creed Shadows on release day was at 44,000 followers on Steam. Let's pull up like Elden Ring Night Rain. Like, that game was pretty big, and that game will definitely be ahead of Stellar Blade. Elden Ring Night Rain was at on the release date, which just happened, 147,000 followers. So yeah, Stellar Blade ain't gonna be Elden Ring Night Rain levels, let's be honest here, but it can do pretty damn well, and given it's a delayed release, I see it doing well. Stellar Blade is also a $60 game versus a $40 game in Night Rain. Like, the number that I would say is okay for Stellar Blade to break at this point would be around 60,000. That number I would say would be okay to good. If you break 70,000, that's a great number to be at, and anything above like 75, 80,000 is absolutely excellent, given that that would be breaking records that PlayStation has ever pulled as far as their PC releases outside of Helldivers 2. And I think Stellar Blade is going to do pretty damn well. Let me also add this. This game, people are already talking about the mods before the game comes out. Where I think this game is going to have a lot of success is not in a vacuum the mods, but what the mods are going to be an avenue for. The mods are going to be circulating all over social media. The TikToks, the Instagram Reels, the X's of the world. People are going to post clips about mods, and it's not about just people, you know, being exposed to the mods. It's about the game being exposed to a lot more people. I really do believe that's going to happen, and that'll put the game in front of more eyes. More people are going to check it out on the back end, and the game is going to do really well. I see this game crushing it on PC, and then on top of that, it's getting that DLC coming out on June the 11th that's baked in with the Complete Edition. But after this, I would be doing and looking into doing more DLCs. Get another DLC coming out in October or November. Keep this game in the news cycle. And now the thing about DLC is that you have a bigger pool of people to pull from that'll potentially buy the DLC, because now you're adding all of the Steam players and the PC players into potentially checking this game out and then checking out the potential DLC as well. I think it makes a lot of sense to not drop the DLC, or haven't been doing a lot of DLC prior to the PC version dropping, because you would be limited in scope in terms of just releasing the DLC to the PlayStation audience. And they did the Nier DLC, and they're doing the Project Nikki, but Project Nikki will be with the PC release anyway. I think after this, look into doing some other DLC. I think a Helldivers 2 crossover would be really cool, given that that's a live service game, and that game could use, it doesn't need the extra buzz, but why not? It wouldn't hurt. And there's so many other possibilities in terms of crossovers. Like, Helldivers 2 is a little bit of a wackier one that I think would do pretty well. But yeah, I think this game is going to crush it on PC. I think it's the type of game that really resonates with a PC and Steam audience, and I think it's just going to sell outstandingly well. And I think it's going to run laps around a Spider-Man 2, Last of Us Part 2, and God of War Ragnarok. Again, let that really sink in. Those are like the holy trinity of PlayStation, and I foresee Stellar Blade as far as Steam concurrent player count goes, and that's one metric, like literally doubling Last of Us Part 2, doubling Spider-Man 2, and doubling God of War Ragnarok. That's insanity when you look at the level of IPs those games are. Now, Stellar Blade isn't a sequel like all of those other games are, and God of War 2018 did pretty well, Spider-Man did well, Last of Us Part 1 was a disaster PC port, so that's not really a relevant comparison, but I could see Stellar Blade beating Spider-Man 2018 and God of War 2018 as well. We'll see if it does hit that lofty expectation. But I think this is a franchise that's going to be here to stay for a long, long time, especially after this PC release. All right, moving on from that, I do want to note a couple of other news stories. Ys vs. Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga will be coming stateside to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC this summer, as officially announced by Falcom and Refund Games. They are the publisher of this. Finally, walls between Falcom's legendary RPG series Ys and Trails are broken for the ultimate dream match of fan-favorite heroes and rivals clash in battles once thought impossible, with support from beloved characters across Falcom's classic titles to aid you in the fight. Maximum thrill, high-speed battle action, as well the fast-paced action that earned acclaim in E7 is back and better than ever, with the ability to jump, adding a whole new layer of speed and strategy. Bring the story to life with full voice acting, Falcom All-Stars, and the key features note beautifully remastered graphics for display in HD and 4K, as well as 60 FPS, featuring couch and online multiplayer, including English voice acting from a familiar cast, a vast material collection of wallpapers and soundtracks, and there'll be a plethora of PC-centric features as well. So Exciting stuff there. And then lastly, one of my favorite games of 2024 is going to be getting a major free update in the Siege Mode update. That will be launching on June the 26th. Face impossible odds in Siege Mode, landing June 26th in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Tear through unending waves of Tyranid and Chaos, assault and fight to survive as long as you can in the unforgiving Siege Mode. Accumulate points with each wave you defeat to spend on ammunition, equipment charges, medical stims, and more, or use them to summon reinforcements like AI Space Marines or the Mighty Dreadnought. That'll be available for free on June 26th. Space Marine 2 is one of those games that was criticized at launch. I mean, most people liked it, but the biggest criticism you saw was, oh, the game is $70, 8 to 10 hour campaign, etc., etc. But man, you've been getting a ton of free content updates. There's replayability in the PvE. The PvP is whatever, but the PvP is there. The campaign is awesome. It's a fantastic game. Space Marine 3 already in development, so hopefully it won't be like a 13-year turnaround for games like Space Marine 1 into 2 was, and it'll be like a more tame 5 to 7 years, you know, that we can expect. But that'll do it for me. Again, huge updates on Stellar Blade. Great to see all the ongoings with the PC release, and I think that could be a huge release, all things considered. So definitely eyes on that. Ease versus Trails this summer, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 getting a major free update with the Siege Mode. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.